Whew, this one will be difficult. Terrence Malick is certainly not for everyone. With his newest movie Knight of Cups starring the Dark Knight himself, Christian Bale, I've reached my limit. There's something about Malick that I always adored. His way of creating images, mood, giving you a sense of wonder, there's no other director that works that way. His first two movies, Badlands and Days of Heaven, I'm quite fond of, but I absolutely love his third one, The Thin Red Line. To me it's one of the best war movies ever made. Its images, its soundtrack and its monologues are just so haunting. The first time I watched it was like a physical experience. With Tree of Life, I had my problems at first, but it began to grow on me, and today I really appreciate Malick's vision of grand themes like creation, consciousness and life itself. But then came To the Wonder, and for the first time I was really let down by its vague tone, its somewhat beautiful but to me empty images. I tried to invest in the movie, but it was just so difficult. And now we have Knight of Cups, and it's even more difficult to me. I don't want to be cynical because I respect his determination, but the synopsis on IMDb is pretty accurate. A screenwriter living in LA tries to make sense of the strange events occurring around him. And we as an audience too try to make sense of the strange events occurring on the screen. As in To the Wonder as well, there was no screenplay while filming the movie. That means all scenes were improvised, and more so Malick didn't even tell the actors what the movie was all about. At least if I can trust the trivia on IMDb. There's no cohesive story, but I wasn't expecting one. I was hoping for striking images and an immersive soundtrack, which together would evoke strong emotion or let me think about memories from the past or anything at all, but for the most part nothing came through to me. And I can fully understand when there are people who resonate with this one, but for me it didn't really trigger any emotions. Even the images, the director of photography was once again Emanuel Lubezki, weren't that special to me. When I heard that Malick will do a movie about or in front of Hollywood, I was excited, but there's not that much that sticks to me after I left screening. Even the music didn't get to me this time. The work of Hanan Townshend, I hope I pronounced that right, was fine I guess. He also composed the soundtrack for To the Wonder, but for me it just wasn't energetic enough. I thought Alexander Desplat did an amazing job in Tree of Life, and Hans Zimmer's music to The Thin Red Line is one of my all-time favorites. But maybe you wonder what the movie's all about, and I'm not sure I can tell you. Christian Bale plays a guy in Hollywood, a screenwriter according to IMDb. He seems to be married to Cate Blanchett, but there are also many other women in his life. They seem to come and go, but nothing really comes across. To me, Christian Bale pretty much stayed a blank page throughout the whole movie. There are only a few little things that we learn about him. He has a troubled brother and some problems with his father, but I can't really tell you that much about it. The movie is so open for interpretation that it felt really hard to invest into it. Furthermore, there are so many ethereal images here, so many scenes of people walking on the beach, running through the water, acting totally strange that it sometimes feels a little bit like a self-parody. I just couldn't grasp any complexity or character development or deeper meaning this time. That doesn't mean you can't, but I'm under the impression Malick forgets his audience somewhat. The constant voiceover and interior monologues didn't transfer anything deeper or especially meaningful to me. When I read that Malick filmed this movie back to back with his next one, I cannot help but find the whole matter rather peculiar. As if Malick is just doing whatever he likes, and of course he can do that, but I think a filmmaker who has no interest for his audience is not that interesting himself anymore.